Hey guys, I'm Angel MERINO from ModaMob, and with summer just around the corner, everyone wants to glow. And when I think of a glow, I think of none other than Jennifer Lopez. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to achieve her signature glowing skin. One of my favorite celebrities to get makeup inspiration from is none other than Jennifer Lopez. She's always so flawless, she's always glowing, and I really felt like I wanted to recreate this look for you guys to show you guys something comfortable that you can wear for this upcoming spring and summer. We're gonna start today's makeup look with a little bit of skin prepping. I'm gonna start off with one of my favorite products. This is Fixt Plus from MAC. It's a really great hydrating spray. Has a little bit of glycerin. I'm just gonna do a couple of spurts on my skin and just really let it soak up. I really want to kind of capture the juices from the spray. It'll really just penetrate into your pores and just really allow the skin to really breathe. And everything that you place on top of it is just gonna stay on a little bit smoother and a little bit longer and 1,000 times better. Now, hydration is always key, especially for the summertime. Things are so hot, you wanna make sure that your skin's nice and hydrated. So I'm just gonna place a little bit of this product on my synthetic brush, and I'm gonna start from the center of my skin and work it all the way out. You can never have enough hydration. Blend out a really nice layer, really nice and even. Now, in the summertime when it gets so hot, it is so important for your makeup to stay intact. So I always go to this primer. This is from NYX. This is the Angel Veil, and it's gonna allow all of the makeup to stay on all day long. So even if you're in a hot environment and you're sweating it out, your makeup's gonna stay on point. I'm just gonna use a little bit of this on my synthetic brush, just like that, and I'm gonna apply it all over my skin. Again, starting from the center and working the product all the way out. After you've applied your primer, it's time to move on to foundation. With JLo's skin, it's always so radiant and so glowing. I've come up with my own little recipe on how to get that really nice glowing skin with really minimal product. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Smashbox foundation. This is Studio Skin. I'm gonna do a couple of pumps of this on my Petri dish, just like this. This is a really, really lightweight foundation, and it stays on for 15 hours. So especially in the summertime, when things get really hot and out of control, this bad boy is gonna make sure that your makeup stays on all day long. Now, to give it a little bit more of a radiant glow, I'm gonna add a little bit of this pigment. This is from MAC, and this is in the shade Melon. This is gonna be more of like a golden sheen type of reflex. So adding this to my foundation is gonna allow the foundation to have more of a golden glow. So when I apply it on my skin, it just looks a lot more luxurious and a lot more expensive. Now it's up to you how much you wanna glow. I like a really nice glow, and especially when I'm out in the sun, I love the way that the light really picks it up. So I add a little bit of a generous amount of the pigment to the foundation, but I totally suggest that you work in small increments so that you can see how much you want to glow. Once you've poured both of those products out, it's time to mix them. Once you've mixed your product, it's time to apply. Now, being that it's summertime, I don't like anything too heavy on my skin, so I make it a point to start with a really, really sheer lightweight layer all over my face. I'm gonna pick up some of this foundation that I've mixed with my synthetic brush, and just like all the other products, I'm gonna start from the center of my face and work my way out. So again, working in small increments is gonna be really, really key for this. Summertime, everything's so hot and sticky and so sweaty. You just really wanna feel comfortable. And the best is when you really feel like you have nothing on your skin, when your foundation is just so weightless and just so airy on the skin. I like to use a little bit of a stippling motion to really build the coverage that I want, but at the same time, I can do this with minimal product so it doesn't feel heavy on my skin. Once you've applied your foundation, it's totally optional if you want to set it with the powder or not. If you're more on the oily skin type side, I would probably maybe set it on the T-zone area with a little bit of powder. I'm more of a normal skin type, so I can get away with skipping this step. And I really want my skin to look really radiant and really glowing. I want to stay away from any type of matte texture, so I'm not going to set it with the powder. Now let's move on to a little bit of highlighting. I'm going to highlight with the lighter shade of concealer. I'm using MAC's Pro Longwear Concealer. Just going to do a couple of pumps on my Petri dish. I'm going to pick it up with a synthetic brush and apply it on my skin. I like to outline where I'm going to highlight first, and then I'll go in with my sponge to really diffuse it out. I feel like I'm almost laying down a blueprint. This is basically the general areas where I want my highlight to be and where I really want to stand out. And then I'll go in with my sponge and I'll really diffuse it out. Now that that's done, I'm gonna spray a little bit of Fix Plus onto my blending sponge just to get it nice and moist. It also helps to expand the sponge a little bit so that when I'm using it on my skin, it just buffs and blends a little bit better. So I'm doing this in a stippling motion, just patting the sponge all over that highlight that I've already laid out and just really diffusing it out. You can even use a rolling motion if that helps too, with really diffusing the product and the lines. Now that I've highlighted my cheekbones, I'm going to do a little bit on my nose and my forehead. And I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to finish buffing that out. Just like that. Now I feel like highlighting has become such a trend, which is why I feel like I always need to do that. But if you don't feel like you need to do this step, it's totally optional. So to start adding a little bit more of that sexy warmth and that signature JLo bronze effect, I'm gonna use this bronzer from NARS in the shade Laguna. Now with adding this warmth, I'm not trying to create too much definition like I would in a typical highlighting contour. I just want to add a little bit of warmth, something a little bit more understated that just adds a lot of richness to the skin. I'm going to use a bigger, fluffier brush for this. I'm going to dip into my product and start to apply it. Now I want to warm up the perimeters of my skin first, so I'm going to start with the temples of my forehead. Just like that. I'm really just buffing it around the perimeters of my forehead to really add that warmth to the skin. Now again, I'm not trying to create too much definition, I just want that general warmth all over my skin. Just like that. Now we're gonna move on to the cheekbones. Again, not trying to create too much definition, I just want that general warmth all over my skin. So I'm just gonna buff this on just like this. Since the brush is a little bit bigger and a little bit fluffier, you're able to cover a lot more space a lot more quickly. You can do the same thing on the other side. Now what I really like about this bronzer is that it doesn't have a predominant orange or a red undertone. It's a lot more of a neutral shade, so it goes on the skin really, really nicely. It just adds that natural warmth like you've been out in the sun all summer long. I'm gonna do the perimeters of my nose, really lightly, nothing too crazy, nothing too defined. Once you feel you're bronzed enough and your skin is warm enough, it's time to move on and add a little bit of a glow. When I look at JLo's skin, her skin always looks really supple and really luscious, so I'm gonna use this product from MAC. This is a cream color base in the shade Diamonds. Now, I got this product a couple months ago. It was a limited edition product, but if you go to MAC and you wanna get something that's really similar, you can get the shade Shell. So sometimes I feel like our fingers are our best tool, which is why I'm gonna use my fingers to apply a little bit of this on the higher planes of my cheekbones and down my nose. I'm just gonna take 2 fingers and I'm gonna dip right in here, swirl in the product, and just kind of blend them onto my other hand. And I'm gonna apply it on the higher planes of my cheekbones, just kind of patting it on, really, really, really lightly. Now, since this is a little bit more of a creamier product, it's a little bit more of a dewier texture, it's gonna really allow the skin to capture that natural richness and that natural kind of shine and dew that the skin should have. Just like that. Now, I'm doing this kind of staying right on the cheekbone area of my face because that's where the light is gonna pick it up a little bit more. The higher planes of the face are always gonna be the areas that you wanna add more of a dew and more of a shine, because when you're out in the sun, that's what's gonna really stand out and it's gonna really sculpt the skin and make you look really rich and really supple. I'm gonna add a little bit down my nose, down the bridge of my nose, for that natural kind of shine and dew. The cool thing about this product too is you can really layer it to really build as much of a kind of shine that you want to create. So if you're somebody that is comfortable with something a little bit subtle, you might not layer it as much. But if you're somebody like me that really likes that kind of heavy glow and glam effect, you might want to layer it a little bit more. I love layering product. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it's a really great way to kind of customize colors and really get the effect for what you're looking for. After we've laid down that cream kind of highlight, I kind of still want it to look a little bit more rich and a little bit more bronzy, which is why I'm gonna use this mineralized skin finish from MAC in the shade Gold Deposit. I'm gonna apply this really lightly with a fan brush. I'm just gonna dip in this product here, and I'm gonna dust it over all of the areas that I've already laid down my previous highlight. This is gonna allow it to look a little bit more bronzy, a little bit more golden, just a lot more sexier like JLo. Now, if you notice the type of pressure that I'm applying on the brush, I'm really not applying too much pressure. I'm doing it in a way that it's really light. I'm holding the brush from back over here, not so much towards the bundle of the hair, but more back, which just allows my movement and my pressure on the brush to be a lot more weightless and a lot more effortless, which just really allows this product to go on to that previous product really smoothly and not in a way that it's too heavy or it's overbearing. The cool thing about this is that you still get that natural skin shine from the previous product, but adding this just adds that golden pop that JLo just loves. And a little bit down my nose. So far we've done a little bit of skin prepping, we've applied a little bit of our foundation with our own little recipe, we've added a little bit of a highlight, and we've definitely added the warmth and the glow. So to kind of wrap up this look a little bit more, we're gonna move on to the eyes. Now with the eyes, I don't wanna do too much. I really want the focus to stay on the skin and just the beautiful golden glow. So we're gonna do something a little bit more subtle just to kind of bring it all together. I'm gonna start off with a spoolie just to brush through my brows, just to make sure they're laid out really nicely. and there's nothing that's kind of moving out of place. I have thicker brows, so I'm not gonna fill them in with any actual product. I'm just gonna run a little bit of this brow gel from Anastasia Beverly Hills through my brows in the shade Espresso. Just gonna brush through my brows. The cool thing about this brow gel is it's gonna tame my brows so they don't move out of place. So if you're somebody that has really coarse brow hair, this is gonna be perfect for you because this is gonna allow the brows to stay in the position you want them to. And it's gonna add a little bit of tint for a little bit of intensity, but still something that's understated. Now it's time to prime our eyes with a little bit of primer. This is my go-to primer. This is from MAC, and this is in the shade Painterly. So with this product, a little bit goes a very long way, so I'm gonna add a really light and sheer layer of this with my synthetic brush all over my eyelids. Now the key to this is to make sure that it's really, really blended out. Again, a little goes a long way, so don't feel the need to use too much product for this step. I'm just gonna do a really sheer layer all over the lid and blending it and buffing it into the crease up into the brow bone. To keep the harmony of the glowing skin and the warmth to the skin, we're gonna do something a little bit more bronzy on the eyes, and I'm gonna do this by using my Lorac Pro to Go palette. I'm gonna start off by using my blending brush from MAC, and this is in the number 224, and I'm gonna dip into my first color right over here, and this is called Cafe. Just gonna dip into here a little bit. And the really cool thing is that it comes with a really helpful mirror, so you can actually hold it while you do your makeup. We're gonna run this color all over the lid into the crease. So I'm just gonna start to kind of pat and place this color all over the lid, just like that, and then I'm gonna really take it in all over the crease to kind of add a nice warmth and a nice contour to the lid. Now, with the way that I'm moving my brush, because the shape of the brush is nice and fluffy, it's gonna do all of the work for me. All I'm having to do is rotate my brush in and out of my socket into my crease. I really, really want to blow this color out. I really want it to look really nice and diffused. So I even start to work my brush in circular motions as I'm going from the inner to the outer. Now this is a really, really subtle brown shade. So it's just gonna create that perfect warmth that's gonna hug the eyes and add that nice contour to the lid. Just like that. But it's really, really understated so it doesn't take away from the skin. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're just gonna use our 224 brush, dip into that product, apply it all over the lid, and take it into the crease. So now that we've applied our crease color, we're gonna apply our lid color. Using the same palette, I'm gonna take this color called Chai on a flat brush, just like this. With this color, we're just gonna press this all over the lid. It's a really beautiful bronze color. So it's just gonna keep the warmth that we've created on the lid. It's gonna just add a little bit of a sheen and a little bit of a shine. So again, when doing this, I'm just taking it on my flat brush, tapping off the excess, and I'm just gonna pat it all over my lid to build that pigment. It's gonna be that nice, frosty, shiny, bronzy brown all over the eyes. Now to really finish up the eyes and really frame them, I'm gonna use the shade Cafe, the same color that I used in my crease with this pencil brush, and I'm gonna smoke it and smudge it underneath my lash line to really create a really sexy, sultry effect on my eyes. Now I'm doing this by just running my pencil brush back and forth underneath my lash line. Now with this piece, it's really easy to get carried away, so it's up to you with how far down you want to bring it. I like it to look really smoked out, so I feel a little bit more comfortable bringing it down a little bit lower. Now, if you still want it to look a little bit more blended and a little bit more smoked out, you can go back in with your 224 brush and run this along the edges of where you've laid down that product to really make sure that it's nice and diffused. Just like that. Now that the shadow is done, it's time to curl your lashes and add some mascara. So I like to apply a really generous coat of mascara on my top and especially on my bottom lashes. I'm not going to apply anything in my waterline because again, I don't want my eyes to be the center stage of this makeup. I really want the skin to be the focus. If you're somebody that lacks in the lash department, this is the perfect opportunity for you to put on your favorite pair of falsies. Now to finish this look, we're going to do my favorite combination for a nude lip. I'm going to use this lipstick from MAC in the shade Myth. Now this is a really nice nude shade. It's going to wash out all of the pink undertones to my lips, and it's really nice and creamy. Blend it in. So whenever I do a nude lip, I always make sure to pair it with the perfect nude gloss, because if not, your lips just look really dry and like you just got done eating a box of powdered donuts. So I'm gonna apply this gloss from Whitening Lightning, and this is in the shade Nude. And how cool is this gloss? It actually lights up, and it has a mirror. It's a really nice pink tone, so it adds a little bit more of a natural lip stain and color to the lips. It all together. And now the very last thing that we're going to do to really round up and complete this look is my favorite go-to product, this Fixt Plus. We're going to spray it all over the skin, just like that. And again, this is like my Photoshop in a bottle, so it's gonna really allow everything that you've placed on your skin to really set in as one and just really look really nice and cohesive and just really seamless. And again, perfect for summer. It's gonna seal your makeup, so it's gonna make sure that none of your makeup is moving or running. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now you're ready to glow in the summer. Make sure you check out the rest of my beauty series here on ModaMob to add more tips and tricks to your makeup wardrobe. I'm Angel Merino. I'll see you guys next time.